What's good? It's Postman. I'm back at you, man. LiveOffBeats.com. Got the t-shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Fresh off the not dry cleaner, dryer. You know what I'm saying? Because we fresh. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm wearing the same. You know, I got a couple of these, not just one. You know, because I'll be wearing it in every video. You know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all to be like, I need dusty, man. Nah, ain't nothing like that. You know, I'm a little rough right now, though. You know, I got my barber appointment is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So forgive me. You know, but anyways, we're gonna talk about branding. This is going to be a very good video for you because I know for a fact that 99% of the producers are just messing this up. It's costing them all kinds of money. It's costing them all types of fame. It's costing them so much that it's really sad. And so I'm going to give it to you, and you can run with it. And then you're going to be able to use this information and really establish yourself as a music producer in this game. Now, what are we talking about here? We're talking about branding yourself as a producer. Branding yourself. You understand what I'm saying? It's a critical thing. But I realize most producers don't understand how to do it. And, you know, they don't even understand the importance of it, you know, but let alone how to do it. This is a very sick thing, man, because I see so many copycats. You know what I mean? It's just like no identity. Like, I can't tell one producer from the other, especially from the sound. I mean, that's what makes it the worst, is that from the sound perspective, all the producers pretty much sound the same for the most part. But at least in the branding, it should be something different. You know, your site looks a certain way and you present yourself a certain way. You're doing something different that the other sites aren't doing. You're offering an extra service. You got all kinds of YouTube videos everywhere. You got your shirts or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, have an entire movement of your site. I just haven't seen that. I have not seen that. I've only seen pretty much the same thing over and over again. And I don't think producers are really conscious of that. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you some exact things you can do to start really preparing your brand and then start expanding your brand. Because first you have to know what your brand is. How do you identify what your brand is going to be? Well, I like to look at it like this, because I've helped producers build their brand, and also I help companies build their brand. And what I've realized is that brand is really a natural, organic thing. It's not something you really create as it's something that you expose and expand. What do I mean by that? Well, since it's your music production company, it really, your brand is already in you. You're already a unique person. You're already a unique human being. So when you project that which you are, your thoughts and who you are and what you represent in your music production business, it's going to be different than everybody else, because of the simple fact that you're different. So that's, you know, a critical key component, is to understand that because you're different, it's going to be different already. So if you look just like everybody else, if your site is not different than anybody else, if I can't tell your production from somebody else, that means you just imitated somebody else. You didn't really express yourself. What you did was express somebody else and imitate it, and that's okay, because that's where we start. Generally, most of the time we start just imitating what we've already learned and what we see, and then we grow and expand into putting our own voice into it. So first thing we think about brand, I want to also want you to think about niching off, and we're going to talk this more in depth in another video. I want you to think about niching off your beat site, you know, because generally I go to beat sites and I don't know what type of beat I'm getting. I hear every type of beat on there, you know, and so this goes into branding as well, because, like, you know, what if you brand yourself as the king of the South, right? So you know that you had the hottest South beats, and I'm just giving an example, or king of the underground, you know what I mean? And then what would happen was you would alienate a large percentage of artists, yes, but what would happen is you would build a brand so strong for the collective artists that are interested in that they would keep coming back to you. And so that's the power of building a brand, right? Because you're differentiating yourself from all the other producers. And when you just spread out and say, I'm just everything to everybody, then you're usually mediocre to everybody. And so I say, you know, niche it up. We're going to go into niching into another video. This is more about branding, but that's just a side note. But what is your identity? What do you represent? You know what I mean? I remember I was consulting with a producer, and we went into a luxury brand. Okay, let's, you know, and we're going to go into pricing strategies and all that, because all this is connected. Brand, pricing strategy, all that is connected. And so, but that's a different video. I'm going to give you how to price your beats, because a lot of y'all just copy whatever you see. That's what you're doing. Just be honest. You just copying the next man and wonder why your shit ain't popping off. You know, I know, because I've been there. I started there. But so I understand. But you don't have to continue there, because you run out of time. You say, well, what time run out? You run out of your damn lifetime, motherfucker. You think you immortal? So you got to get moving and get shit popping. You know, so that was a side note. I kind of went on a rant, because you know how I get. But anyways, where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Come on, Post, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it. Okay, brand. That's right. So branding, differentiate yourself from everybody else. Okay, and that's the key thing. Who are you? What are you going to represent? What are you going to represent yourself as your music as? And it has to be a different feel that comes when they come to you. When I know what I'm getting here. I'm liking the energy here. Down to your tags, down to when they watch your videos. You know what I'm saying? It's something different. It's something spicy. It's you. It's crazy. It's whatever it is that you represent, man. You know, none of this old shy shit. Oh, this is hiding behind. No, it's 2013, so you can't go to that hiding behind the computer, just upload a beat. You got to market. You got to be in front of these people. They got to see you. You got to give them things that are interesting. You know what I mean? And so, you know, brand and price go hand in hand, though, because if you have a stronger brand, you can command a higher price. You know, you got producers out here leasing beats for $5. You know, and it's like, man, you know, you don't know what you're doing. It doesn't affect me or anybody else because that shit is garbage. And anything that costs $5, an artist that's serious won't even take you serious. Like if I say, I mean, it's like if I offered you a pair of Jordan for $5, you would, even if they were 100% new and they were real, you would be like, man, I'm not finna buy no damn Jordan for $5. I know this is some bullshit because I know the brand. Right? Think about it. I'm giving you relationships and branding so you can see. So now your mind can understand what I'm saying, right? Think about that. Jordans have a brand, and they charge way more than the average tennis shoe. Your tennis shoe, you can go get something for $50 at Foot Locker, but Jordan's gonna charge your ass $200, and motherfuckers will stand in line all around the block to do it. Why? Because of brand power. And if I tried to give you Jordan for $5, you would say, man, this shit ain't real. I can't even take you serious. So what do you think about when you got beats and you charging $5 as somebody who's a serious artist that's looking to invest in their career, you know, that this is what I'm going to do for my life, and you got a beat for $5. You know, you think they're really going to take you serious? You think they're going to say, oh, yeah, you know, this is something I'm going to stake my future as an artist on? You know, it's ridiculous, you know. And so, and I'm only just giving you an example. Like I said, we're not going to price strategy too much in here, but they're so linked together, brand and price, that, you know, we have to kind of talk about that if we're going to really talk about branding, so you can understand the importance of branding. You understand? You can charge $1,000 a beat on the internet. It doesn't matter. You know, it depends on if your brand is strong enough to command that type of price. And of course, your product got to be on point. You know, you can't have no weak ass beats talking about you going to charge $1,000 a pop. But again, I don't get into how hot people's beats are because it's irrelevant to me, because these strategies are strategies that you have to use regardless of whether or not what your product is. If you have the best damn beat and the weakest marketing, you ain't gonna be shit. You understand? You can have the best marketing and some weak beats and outkill anybody that has hot production. So it's also producers out there that say, you know, oh man, just work on your craft and get hot, man, you know, and then broke motherfuckers don't understand, you know, or they came in the old way and it worked for them, and now they think that shit is gonna work for you, and it really ain't. You know, you gotta be hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it have some weak stuff, but being a hot producer just comes with keep making beats, right? It comes with practice, dedication. So that's something we don't have to discuss. You know how to do that. Just keep making them. Just keep making them over and over and over and over again, and then you're gonna get hot. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't really go into that. But branding is very critical, so that way you differentiate yourself. You can price strategy yourself right? So you can think about, okay, how much do I want to really charge? You know, if I'm charging $10 a lease, I mean, it's gonna be hard to. I got at least, you know, I got at least 1,000 of them just to make $10,000 in a month. I got at least 500 just to make $5,000. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably not a good price strategy. But if that's all your brand can command, they come to your site and your brand, you don't have anything of value for them. You don't offer any extra services. You know what I mean? Go above and beyond. That's what I'm saying. Take your brand to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And so when they come, they know what they're going to get. They know what they're going to expect, and they're willing to pay for it. So I'm going to give you some strategies, some tips to do. So the first thing I want you to think about in your brand, get your pen and pad, and you got a pen and pad, and just think about, what do I want to represent? Do you want to represent luxury? Do you want to represent fast and efficient? You want to represent, you know what I'm saying? I never like cheap shit. I'm not a cheap person, so but there are brands, you can have a cheap brand, right? McDonald's brand is fast and cheap, right? I mean, that's their brand, so I can't say that that's not a brand possibility. I shun that shit because I hate just cheap ass shit. I'm not a cheap person, you know what I'm saying? I'm a luxurious, I like luxury. Not saying that, you know, I'm having the most luxurious life at the moment, you know, but I still would rather pay for something of quality. You know, I give an example of branding. I give you an example so you can understand what I'm saying. All I wear now is Burberry polos. I used to wear polo, Ralph Lauren polo. And actually, it's a funny story. You know, the first time my mentor, he had a Ralph Lauren polo. I said, damn, polo, that represents my swag. You know what I mean? Kind of conservative, but still, still out there. You know what I'm saying? It's clean look. I always like to look clean. You know what I'm saying? And so I got a gang of Ralph Lauren polos, right? So I just went crazy on the Ralph Lauren polo. In fact, if you watch some videos, you probably see me with some Ralph Lauren polos on. So then I had met up with my mentor again for lunch one time, and I had on a Ralph Lauren polo. He had on a Burberry polo, and I was like, damn, that mug was clean. Like, it really just made, I wanted to take my shirt off. I'm like, man, that thing, you could see the quality just shining off of that polo. And I'm like, damn, that's a clean shirt. Like, it wasn't just the name, it was a real quality polo. And next to my polo, you can see how cheap Ralph Lauren polo was. No disrespect to Ralph Lauren. I know some of y'all love Ralph Lauren. That's okay. But in reality, I'm just giving you real talk from my experience. When I put the Ralph Lauren, I looked at my Ralph Lauren polo. I'm like, damn, this shit is cheap. You know, it looked cheap. It felt cheap. From that day forward, when I started, all I buy is Burberry polos. Now I have a closet and I have a collection of Burberry polos. But they ain't cheap. So, you know, I couldn't go splurging like I would on a damn polo, a Ralph Lauren polo, because it just costs $150 a pop. So it costs 3 Ralph Lauren polos is the price of 1 Burberry polo. But that's the power of branding and then having a quality to match the brand that you have. So that's why I say, you know, cheap shit is cool if that's the route you want to go. But it seems to me that I like things to be luxurious because you can command higher prices. And you're dealing with a customer base who has money. You understand what I'm saying? They're willing to pay because they value quality things. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the type of people and the type of customers I like to have. You understand what I'm saying? I like to, because then when you have new ideas you want to put out, oh, I got this new beat, and you want to make 10 times more money, you know they got it. You understand what I'm saying? You know they got it because they're willing to pay. And cheap, so fashion cheap. That's a brand you could go for. I don't suggest it. It's an ugly thing. You're going to be at the bottom with the rest of the producers who's doing that. So differentiate yourself. So step one, I want you to realize, to think of what you're going to represent. What are you going to represent? So present, like a presentation, you're going to represent that with your music production business. Okay, I want to present, love. It makes you be love. And you have nice beats and beautiful things. And you're like, hey, and what the point of your beat and your beat site, music production, the mission of it beyond just selling a beat is, you're trying to spread love to the world. Like Bob Marley had a brand, right? Think about it. Bob Marley had a brand, you know what I mean? One love, one world, you know what I'm saying? One world, one love. And that was his brand. You see his brand everywhere. It's clear about the brand. So when they come to your beat site, when they think of you as a producer, is there a message you're trying to get out there? What are you presenting to the world? You know what I mean? Is it, hey, luxury, you know what I'm saying? Quality. I mean, what is this that you're presenting to the world, and how can you present it in a way that's different than everybody else, in a way that it's clearly, it's there, the message is there, and as well, you're doing it in a way to where somebody else, look, they're in a totally different world when they come to your beat site, when they come to your YouTube channel, when they look at your Twitter, when they do this, you're doing something totally different. You know what I mean? It's totally different than what everybody else is doing, and it's not because you're trying to do it just to be different. It's because you are different. It's because you are presenting something that's not being presented right now. You understand what I'm saying? And it has to be authentic. And it has to be authentic, it has to be real, and it has to come from who you are and what you see in the world and say, hey, this is what I'm going to be. And that comes down. I'm going to do another video on this, what I'm going to tell you, because at the end of the day, it's about your legacy. You understand what I'm saying? You have to get out of the mindset of just doing some shit just to make a quick dollar or to survive or to do anything. It's good to make money. You have to think about that. But what I'm saying is also start to think deeper terms of your legacy. What are you going to leave behind? What is your legacy? So let's say if you die tomorrow and then they said, damn, he left a legacy of his music. Let's go to his beat site. And what the fuck would the next generations look at? They just look at some shit that just looks like normal to everybody else. That has nothing there, that no type of legacy being left behind. So start thinking about the type of legacy you're going to leave as a producer. What type of music you're going to leave behind. What type of energy were you going to leave behind. What type of representation and presentation are you going to leave behind. Start thinking about those things, because then when you start thinking on deeper levels, then you start to do things that are a lot deeper and start to do things that really are going to get you the success you're trying to dream about. Because you're thinking along in terms of what are you going to leave behind, and then you start to have a reason for doing things, that why that we talked about on that audio. to do it at such a higher level. You're reaching towards something. You have a purpose in doing what you're doing as a music producer instead of just making some beats and uploading them. You're getting out of the mediocrity of the world and starting to get into the greatness that's in you. You understand what I'm saying? That's what you're really doing. And no matter what level you at now, what stage you at now, just start to think in terms of the legacy that you're going to be presenting in 2 or 3 generations from now when they remember your ass. You know what I'm saying? Most people think about that. I mean, it's a sad reality. I hate time. It hurts thinking about it. But damn, think about the average person when they leave, and 2 generations when they look back and say, what was their legacy? What did they leave behind? Well, shit, they just worked 9 to 5 every day and watched TV and died. You know, no legacy was left nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a sad reality to me. You know, I want to leave a legacy behind. And if you're a producer, your legacy is going to be really largely tied up into your music. You understand? You're going to have other things as well, but largely it's going to be the music you leave behind for the next generations that are coming along. It's like, okay, what am I going to leave behind? You realize you're not immortal. You realize that this time is running the hell out. So you realize you better get your ass up now and do something. You understand what I'm saying? You got to realize that. I know that everybody else around you is probably moving like snails, like they got all goddamn, eternity to fucking build some shit. But you don't. The reality is we're running out of time. In fact, I calculated that if you live to 80 years old, barring any significant injury or disease, you only got about 700,000 hours. 700,000 hours of life. And you probably, if you're 20 years old, you've already wasted a goddamn quarter of it. You understand what I'm saying? So you only got three quarters left of your life to live at 20. So if you're 40, you already had your shit gone. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to really think in terms of, and I started thinking in that term when I heard that Warren Buffett thinks like that. Warren Buffett knows he has his hours already, how many hours he has left on the planet. You understand? I'm like, damn, why the hell would he do that? But then when I started doing it, I started to understand. Break this shit that you don't got that many hours left. So every hour that you waste is another hour that you about to get off the planet without being shit, without leaving no legacy. So think about your brand in terms of what legacy are you going to leave behind with your music production? What's the legacy going to be? You understand? Because you got one in your ass. Don't think that it's just, oh, well, that's them over there and I'm not that great. Man, fuck all that corny shit, man. That's corny ass, low self-esteem shit. Fuck all that. Just let it go. And realize that you got something great in you, a brand and a legacy in you that's trying to come out. That's what it's trying to do. It's saying, let me out this motherfucker, because goddamn it sucks in here to just not be out there in the world and blessing people and sharing and caring and that's going to take you to the next level. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what I know. You understand what I've seen, what I've experienced, and what I've learned. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? LiveOffBeats ain't been around for 6 years just because the shit just, I understand all the shit I'm telling you. I've worked with too many producers. I've seen producers that came from the ground. Like a lot of people haven't been able to see that. I've seen producers that started with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing. And just watch them and go, I just sit back and go, okay, that's what they did, okay. They did that advice, they did that, they took that, you know what I'm saying? And I watched them go all the way to the top. And now, and the top ain't the end. The top just means on top of where everybody else is at. Now you got to keep going to the next level, because it's a process that'll never end. You never get satisfied and just say, oh, I'm just sitting back and chilling. Now, you always want to get better and expand. And you got to get to moving. So right now, before these videos, after the video's over with, go do something. Take that next step that you've been bullshitting on. I gotta do this, but I'm gonna just go chill out. I'm gonna go watch TV. I'm gonna go do this. No, do this shit right now. You should have sent some beats out to some A&R, to some people. You said, no, I'm gonna go send some beats to them because I might be able to get placed or whatever it is. The little step that you just know that you ain't doing. You know what I'm saying? And you just do it. It's the human condition, so don't sit and wallow about it. Oh, I'm a failure. I'm just shut the fuck up. Just tell the mind, I don't got time for that little bullshit, and just go do the shit. And that's what it's about. So do that right now. Take your first step. If it's getting a pencil and pad and write, okay, how am I going to present myself? Who the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? That's a good way to start. And then you can present who you are in your music. So again, 2013, get your branding straight. I want your branding. You should, when I come to your site and I come to your world, which is your Twitter, your Facebook, your YouTube channel, your website, when I come to your world, I should immediately see that it's different than anybody else's world. If you want a good example, look at Donald Trump. That's a good example of a brand. You understand what I'm saying? They built a brand. You know it's Trump when you see Trump. You know the quality. You know all that stuff. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Build your brand and think big. Don't think little. Don't think because you where you at don't matter really. I mean, it doesn't matter. Period. It's about where you're going, and it starts with where you're going in your mind. That's the key. So do something right now though. Take them small steps. Don't think about having to save the whole world today. Just do the next thing that's on your list. You know you got to do, and do it right now. Because if you wait and say you're gonna lose all your momentum, and you're gonna be a failure for the rest of your life. So just take that step. You're gonna be successful the rest of your life. It's all that's dependent on if you take this small step. That's how important this next thing when you turn this video off. That's how important this shit is. So do it. All right. So and I'm doing a video a day. Keeps the goddamn debt collectors away. So I'm on you. All right. All right. Peace. LiveOffBeats.com.